evening. So I'm sharing my content. Just let me know if the slide is visible. Is it visible, sir? Okay. And I'm audible also, I hope. Fine. May I start, sir? I'm waiting for the nod from Patliputra Sahodaya. Actually, friends, so many of you are
Good evening, ma'am. We can
continuously
start now.
chatting. I mean, chatting in the sense you're writing your school's name, good morning, good evening. That's not required, actually. Once you enter from your ID, your attendance is there. If you attend the session for a certain amount of time. So throughout, in this training session, throughout it is found that you all are writing your name good and your designation and the name of your school and greetings. So my dear friends, it is not required. You can just enter from your ID and be relaxed, attend the session, and that's enough. Your attendance will be given to you automatically. I mean, from the chat box, I'm sure they don't take your attendance. So there's no need of doing that. May I start, sir?
Yes, ma'am. We can start now. Hello. Yes, ma'am. We can start now.
I think it's more than time. So I start. Yes, sir. Hello? Hello? Thank you so much. Good evening, all of you. Good evening, all of you. I hope I'm audible now. I had muted myself. Today we are going to have a discussion on this topic, embracing multilingualism in classrooms. And our objectives are to understand what is multilingualism, why it should be embraced in the classroom, why it should be a part of our teaching learning method, and what are the key factors that we teachers also need to understand before we start using multilingualism actually. And for the teachers also, it poses some challenges for the teachers as well. We will understand that also in today's session. But before I begin, I would like to thank Patliputra Sahodaya wholeheartedly for giving me this wonderful chance to be in front of you with another exciting and great topic, wonderful topic, I believe, and that is embracing multilingualism in classrooms. I'm Mitali Mukherjee, your resource person for the day, and I'm the principal of Indrapuram Public School Girls, Patna. Hope this session will be of some use for you. With your permission, friends, and with the permission of Patliputra Sahodaya, may I please start the session. So let me put myself in slideshow view first. Okay. I hope this is better. Okay. So our topic is embracing multilingualism in classrooms. What is multilingualism? Let us try to understand this meaning of multilingualism. Again, I would like to request my dear friends who are attending today's session that you need not write in the chat box your name, your school's name, your designation, greetings, all that is not at all required. Once you enter this session through your ID, that is more than enough. So you don't need to do anything extra. Okay, after that, you just sit comfortably and enjoy the session. Okay. Okay. So, what is multilingualism, first of all? Let us try to understand the meaning of multilingualism. According to the great educationist peers, multilingualism is a use of several languages by either a person or by the society. Now, as far as society is concerned, I hope all of you will agree that India is a country in which we speak the maximum number of languages, isn't it? So, in the Indian context, our society is actually multilinguistic, and it is too much multilinguistic. In fact, I've heard people saying that if you move 100 meters, you will find a new form of the language, maybe not a new language, but a new form of the language, which we normally say dialect as well, isn't it? So please try to understand this. Please try to gel with the situation. That is, we are staying, we are existing, we are surviving in a environment which is already multilinguistic. But what are we actually doing is we are trying to move against the wave. What we do in our school, what we do in our classroom is we tell the children, Dekho beta, you have to speak only in English. So the child who already has the exposure of so many languages, the child whose cognition is already so well developed to learn so many languages, हम करते क्या है? The moment the child comes to the school, we close all the vents. उसके दिमाग की सारी खिड़कियां दरवाजे हम बंद कर देते हैं और हम कहते थे कि एक ही खिड़की खुली रखनी है, एक ही दरवाजा खुला रखना, वो है इंग्लिश का दरवाजा। तो अभी क्या होता है ना कि हमारे घर में अगर 10-20 दरवाजे होते हैं, तो आप ये मानिएगा ना कि कोई एक दरवाजा होता है जिसकी कुंडी थोड़ी सी खराब होती है, द लॉक इज नॉट वर्किंग प्रॉपर्ली, बट ऑन द अदर हैंड भी से ये हमारे घर का मेन डोर है, सबसे मजबूत दरवाजा। तो सबसे मजबूत दरवाजा कौन सा होता है बच्चे का? हिज और हर मदर टंग, हिज और हर फर्स्ट लैंग्वेज, वो उसका सबसे मजबूत दरवाजा होता है। हम उसी दरवाजे को बंद कर देते हैं, एंड देन वी एक्सपेक्ट द चाइल्ड टू डू वेल इन एकेडमिक्स, we expect the child that the child will get very good marks, but we are already closing the door through which the child can communicate most effectively, through which the child can understand most effectively, and we try to open a door or a window from where very little air, very little light comes in. Try to understand it like this. हम ये कहते हैं बच्चे से कि वो दरवाजा खोलो अपने दिमाग का, वो खिड़की खोलो जिससे सबसे कम हवा आती है, जिससे सबसे कम रोशनी आती है, और वो है इंग्लिश का दरवाजा। Are you understanding? So what is happening in the today's context is that a child who has a very enriching, exposure of languages, when that child comes to the school, we are telling the child that please forget all languages and remember only one language, and that is English. And then what happens from that very minute, there's a downfall in the child's performance which happens. Why? Because we are hampering the child's cognitive development, we are hampering the child's personality development. So please try to understand that multilingualism in the Indian context is as normal as having 2 ears, 2 eyes, 2 nostrils, 2 lungs, 2 kidneys. क्या कोई बच्चा पैदा होता है हमारे समाज में तो हम उसको कहते हैं अरे अरे इस बच्चे के 2 लंग्स हैं, अरे इस बच्चे की 2 आंखें, ऐसा कोई कहता है क्या? कोई नहीं कहता, बिकॉज इट इज नॉर्मल टू हैव 2 lungs, 2 kidneys, 2 eyes, 2 ears. अब नॉर्मल तो तब होता है when somebody is born with only one eye, then we say. So you know what has happened is we are actually propagating something which is very abnormal, and we have forgotten something which is so normal in our society. तो फिर से वापस our government, our educationists have to put in such a lot of labor, and they have to again bring us back to the normal, okay, which was already existing in our society, which is already existing in our society, and which will already exist in our society forever. We teachers need to understand, we teachers need to streamline our education system with the real happenings in the society. Because what is a school? A school is a community. So अगर आप स्कूल में कुछ ऐसी प्रैक्टिसेस शुरू कर देंगे जो कम्युनिटी में होती नहीं है, जो कम्युनिटी से बिल्कुल अलग है, then I'm sure your school cannot flourish. The school has to gel with the community. Therefore, every school, each one, mere school, aapka school, hum sabke school mein, there's a community outreach program where we try to reach our school to the community. We try to reach our plans, our projects, our thinking, our outlook to the society. So यानी हमारा आउटलुक और हमारी कम्युनिटी का आउटलुक सेम होना चाहिए, तभी हमारा स्कूल कम्युनिटी में सर्वाइव कर सके. Are you understanding this? So multilingualism is something which is very common, very natural to a society. So we have to move with that ahead. If you cut the branches of multilingualism, you cannot sit on a happy green tree. Please remember this. So let's move ahead. Multilingualism is very common and increasing phenomenon in present day society, which can be studied from different perspectives. Like we all say, one race is equal to one culture is equal to one language. And in India, there are so many races, so much diverse culture we have. So you can very well imagine how important the different languages are in our society. Every language is flourishing in our country with its own fragrance, with its own style, with its own rich heritage, with its own vocabulary, own pronunciation, own diction, own stress of words, stress of syllable. So ये सारे बच्चे माँ के पेट से निकलकर सीख कर आते हैं आपके पास, और आप क्या कर रहे हैं? जैसे ही बच्चा स्कूल आ रहा है वो सारी सीखी हुई चीजों की जड़ आप काट रहे हैं। नहीं काटना है आपको, उन जड़ों को और ग्रो करने देना है। अगर आप अपने घर में कोई पौधा लगाते हैं तो आप क्या करते हैं, उसकी सारी जड़ें काट देते हैं, फिर कहते हैं देखो तुम मेरे घर में आए हो तो मेरे हिसाब से उगो। ऐसा नहीं होता। वो पौधा, उस पौधे में जो जड़ें हैं वो उन जड़ों के साथ ही सरवाइव कर सकता है। Okay, are you understanding this? Like it's just, it is so humorous, you know. If somebody says that Mitali Mukherjee, suppose I was a maiden, और जब मेरी शादी हुई मैं ससुराल आई, suppose my mother-in-law says, see you've come with the skin, ये स्किन के साथ आप मेरे घर में नहीं आ सकते हो, क्योंकि अब मेरे घर में आपको अपना स्किन चेंज करना पड़ेगा। Is it possible? Is it possible? It's so hilarious, isn't it? Same thing happens when a Tamil child comes to your class, a Malayali child comes to your class, a Hindi speaking child comes to your class, a Bengali child comes to your class, a Uriya child comes to your class, and then when the child comes to your class, you start saying the child, come on, talk only in English, speak English, write English, eat English, drink English. Is it going to happen? Will the child be comfortable? Will the child be able to grow? It's not possible. So this is where multilingualism holds its importance. I hope you've understood the context of multilingualism. I've made it clear enough. If there's any doubt, please come up on the chat, through the chat box. Now, what is multilingualism? It is the identity of India. It is identity of your country, because your country is the only country in this entire world where maximum languages are spoken, written, read. How many? Officially 22 languages. But you know that official is not the end, it's not the full stop, it's only a comma. It's estimated, friends, that around 780 languages are spoken in our country every day. 780 languages are used every day, day to day. तो आप सोचिए 780 लैंग्वेजेस जानने वाला देश है ये। एक बच्चा, कोई ऐसा बच्चा आपके क्लास में नहीं होगा जिसको सिर्फ एक ही लैंग्वेज आती है। हाँ, ऐसे बहुत बच्चे होंगे जिनको इंग्लिश नहीं आती है। Am I right? In fact, if I recall, I was actually trying to recall this. I don't know a single person in my life who knows only one language. I don't know personally. That एक language आने वाला कोई इंसान नहीं मैं जानती। So you know, somehow all of us are at least bilingual, if not multilingual. हम लोग bilingual तो है ही। तो फिर why you want to take that, you know, gift from us and make our kids monolingual, knowing only one language? Okay. So, why are we talking so much about multilingualism today, my friends? Multilingualism and discussion, embracing multilingualism in the classroom is a very hot cake topic these days. And it has become a very hot selling topic because of NEP, you know. NEP has given us this gift. NEP, one of the key principles of NEP is that you have to respect for diversity and local context to be reflected in all curriculum, pedagogy and policy. So NEP कहता है कि you must show respect for the diversity which exists in our nation. Now, diversity can exist in the form of culture, diversity can exist in the form of dressing, diversity can exist in the form of food, diversity can exist in the form of language, diversity can exist in the form of so many things, isn't it? So उस डाइवर्सिटी की रिस्पेक्ट आपको करनी है, न कि आपको ये कहना है कि सारे लैंग्वेज भूल जाओ, एक ही लैंग्वेज याद रखो। ये नहीं करना है। You have to respect the diversity. And children who are coming from these diverse kind of, you know, backgrounds, when they are coming into your classroom, then your classroom has to respect, has to give the platform to all those languages. Okay, so this is very important, that you have to respect this diversity, and this diversity should seep through your lesson plans, your pedagogy, your policies. They should seep through everyone. Okay, so how do we understand it in the context of multilingualism? In the context of multilingualism, we understand it like this. Children adapt to learning a new language quickly between 2 to 8 years. Hence, the multilingualism reform in NEP 2020 is certain to cultivate their cognitive benefits even at the foundation age. You know what you all must be knowing, you all are teachers, so you all must be knowing this, I'm sure, that learning happens how does learning happen? Learning happens through the 3H, isn't it? Our head, our heart, and our hand. So these are the 3 ways how children learn. उसमें से सबसे कॉमन, सबसे इजी, सबसे मैसिव लर्निंग कैसे होती है? थ्रू आवर head, which means brain, that means cognition, isn't it? Your voice is not coming. Is my voice not coming? Somebody is complaining that my voice is not coming. Chandrasekhar ji. Friends, can you please? It's coming, yes or no? Is my voice coming? Chandrasekhar ji, everybody is saying yes. So I request you to kindly check in your network connections. I think there must be some problem. Thank you, friends, for responding. Thank you so much. Okay, so let's look into this. That I was telling you that learning takes place through the head, through the heart, and through the hand. सबसे ज़्यादा learning takes place through our head, and that is the brain. That we say cognition. So cognitive learning सबसे ज़्यादा होती है हमारी. Okay, Bloom's taxonomy is also talks about cognition and all. And cognitive development बच्चे का maximum कब होता है? Cognitive development बच्चे का maximum होता है in the age group of 2 to 8 years. 2 to 8 years को अगर हम roughly समझें तो it is preschooling to maybe class 3, 4 maximum. Okay, so that is the time जब rapid brain development होता है. I am not saying कि इसके बाद बंद हो जाता है. What I only mean to say is that rapid brain development takes place during that phase of your life, the child's life. So उस age में आप बच्चे को कोई भी नया language, you can make the child learn very easily. Any new language the child can learn very easily during that phase of time. And that is the time, you know, when the child comes to school. और स्कूल आने पे आप क्या करते हैं, ये मुझे दोबारा कहने की जरूरत नहीं, आप सबको पता है. जैसे ही बच्चा स्कूल आता है हम कहते हैं सारे लैंग्वेज भूल जाओ, एक ही लैंग्वेज याद रखो, इंग्लिश. तो आपने क्या किया, उसके कॉग्निशन की जड़ें ही काट दी. और उसके बाद आप कहते हैं उसको ब्लूम्स टैक्सोनॉमी समझो, एप्रिसिएशन समझो, एप्लीकेशन समझो, ये क्रिएशन समझो. तो सारी जो उल्टा पुल्टा बातें हैं ना, हम ही लोग करते हैं. पहले हम उसके कॉग्निशन की जड़ें काटते हैं, फिर हम उससे कहते हैं कॉग्निशन समझो, फिर हम उससे कहते हैं वापस आओ अपनी जड़ों पे. तो ये all this is happening, you know. So as teachers, you know, आपकी understanding बिल्कुल clear होनी चाहिए. I know as teachers there are many principles in the school that you cannot take on your own, but after all, at least after attending this session, you can talk to your management, you can talk to your principal, you can talk to your colleagues that this is what we are doing and this is where we are going wrong. So up to a certain level we have to have a multilingual class. Maybe after that, when the cognition is not so rapid, not so advanced, maybe after that we can slowly shift our focus to a main language. ठीक है, हम इंग्लिश क्यों प्रमोट करते हैं, इंग्लिश क्यों प्रोपगेट कर रहे हैं? इसलिए बिकॉज इंग्लिश इज द करेंसी ऑफ द वर्ल्ड नाउ. इंग्लिश इज द मोस्ट वाइडली स्पोकन एंड यूज्ड लैंग्वेज नाउ. अगर बच्चे को इंग्लिश आती है तो बच्चे को अच्छी नौकरी मिलेगी, बच्चा विदेश जाएगा, एक्सेट्रा एक्सेट्रा एक्सेट्रा. तो बेटा विदेश बच्चा क्लास 4 में थोड़ी जा रहा है, विदेश बच्चा क्लास 8 में थोड़ी जा रहा है, विदेश बच्चा क्लास 10 में भी नहीं जा रहा है. विदेश बच्चा कब जा रहा है? आफ्टर कंप्लीटिंग मे बी ग्रेजुएशन में बच्चा विदेश जा रहा है. तो इतनी हड़बड़ी क्यों है आपको? आप प्री नर्सरी से इंग्लिश को क्यों कंप्लीट इन्फ्यूज करना चाह रहे हैं? यू टीच इंग्लिश, देयर इज नथिंग रॉन्ग इन दैट. दैट इज अगेन अ न्यू लैंग्वेज एंड child can learn so many new languages at that stage. But आप only English मत सिखाओ. Okay, I'll come to more reasons later on, you will see. Okay, let's come here. So what is the scope of multilingualism? What happens जब हम multilingual होते हैं, multilingual हमारे बच्चे होते हैं, तो इसका scope बहुत बढ़ जाता है. Okay, scope of multilingualism is not limited. सबसे पहले तो scope is not limited, its scope is immense, you know. It touches every aspect of human life. Its scope is very large and can be studied as, number one, education imparted through multilingualism because of multilingual society. We are not doing anything new. Our society is multilingual, so our education is also multilingual. Please remember this, a complete gel, complete sync with the society system. वी आर मल्टीलिंगुअल, इसलिए हमारा क्लासरूम भी मल्टीलिंगुअल होना चाहिए, हमारे बच्चे मल्टीलिंगुअल होना चाहिए, हम ज्यादा कंफर्टेबल होंगे मल्टीलिंगुअल में. एंड आवर कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन आल्सो प्रोवाइड्स अस more than two languages to be used for administration. आप देखते होंगे हर जहां भी आपके गवर्नमेंट का नाम लिखा रहता है, आप हिंदी में भी होता है, इंग्लिश में भी होता है, उर्दू में भी होता है. आप कहीं भी देखेंगे गवर्नमेंट ऑफिस में वर्क इंग्लिश में भी हो रहा है, हिंदी में भी हो रहा है. तो फिर हम क्यों, स्कूल क्यों मल्टीलिंगुअल नहीं है भैया? स्कूल ऑल्सो शुड बी मल्टीलिंगुअल. तो ये कोई ऐसा आप ये दिमाग में बिल्कुल नहीं रखे, कतई नहीं रखे कि दिस इज अ वेरी न्यू कॉन्सेप्ट, ये एक नया कॉन्सेप्ट अब आ गया, अब ये नई चीज है, अब इसको भी इनकॉर्पोरेट करो. नो, इट्स देयर ऑलरेडी. व्हाट वी हैव एक्चुअली डन इज हमने उसे काट छाट दिया है. हमें उसे काटना नहीं, उसे एज इट इज एग्जिस्ट रहना. ठीक है. नेक्स्ट, importance of multilingualism nowadays. Number one, multilingualism promotes personal growth. आप एक लैंग्वेज जानते हैं, आप दो लैंग्वेज जानते हैं, आप 10 लैंग्वेज जानते हैं, डेफिनेटली you grow as an individual, you become so confident, you can adjust in so many different kinds of environment, different kind of places, because you are a multilinguistic person. It increases your tolerance and respect towards other culture. अब जैसे for example, मैं by caste I'm a Bengali, but I know to speak very good Hindi also. So because I know Hindi, कहीं ना कहीं हिंदी भाषी लोगों के प्रति, उनके कल्चर के प्रति, उनके हेरिटेज के प्रति, उनके खान पान के प्रति, उनके रुझान के प्रति मेरा ऑटोमेटिक एक रुझान हो जाता है. Why? Because I know that language. So I find myself कहीं ना कहीं मेरा एक लिंक हो रहा है हिंदी भाषी लोगों के साथ. I have a link, and this link increases our tolerance, which is, I don't know, I should use this platform to say this or not, which is the need of the hour. नेक्स्ट ऑफ कोर्स जॉब मोबिलिटी. आप में से कितने के मम्मी पापा ट्रांसफरेबल जॉब में होंगे, आपके स्पाउस होंगे ट्रांसफरेबल जॉब में. तो व्हेन यू नो सो मेनी लैंग्वेजेस, इट इज सो इजी फॉर यू टू एडजस्ट. It broadens the employment opportunities, and of course, it increases your vocabulary and effectiveness of speech. For example, normally you will see that in Hindi stories, in Hindi kavita, we have words of Urdu. What happens? It makes it more rich. In Bollywood songs also, you have so many of Hindi, Urdu words. What happens? The song becomes more beautiful. The lyrics become more, they become better. There's more meaning is added to it. More dimension is added to it. So when you know many languages, your speech, your vocabulary, your reach, everything increases. Okay, some other benefits of multilingualism. Of course, we have already discussed this, but there's very one important thing I would like to say. These days you must be hearing so many people are having stress-related disorders, which are mental disorders, not physical, but most of it is mental. Like, people are suffering from dementia. You must have heard about this. People are suffering from so many stress-related disorders, mental illness, mental sickness. लेकिन जब आप बहुत सारे लैंग्वेजेस को यूज करते हैं ना, उसका क्या फायदा है बताएं? आप जितनी ज्यादा लैंग्वेजेस जानेंगे ना, उतना ज्यादा आपका ब्रेन यूज होगा, उतना ज्यादा आपका कॉग्निशन यूज होगा. तो जब आपका ब्रेन बार बार यूज होता रहेगा, तो वो दैट योर ब्रेन विल नॉट बिकम सिक. The more you use your brain, the more the brain becomes stronger and stronger and stronger. I hope you know this theory. So you should try to use your brain. एक theory के अनुसार 99.9% of human beings, I don't know why this is happening. 99.9% of us, we don't even use 30% of our brain in the whole of lifetime. I hope you know this. So, हमारा brain mostly unused ही रह जाता है. So, इसलिए जितनी ज़्यादा languages you will know, you will be using your brain more and more and more. Somebody is giving me heart symbols also. Thank you. Okay. So when you use more than one language, you can travel. आप इमेजिन करिए आप ट्रेन पे हैं, आपके बगल में कोई मराठी जानता है, आप उससे मराठी में बात कर सकते हैं. उधर कोई बैठा हुआ मलयाली जानता है, आप मलयाली में 2 लाइन बोल दिए. So you become such a favorite person of people. You enjoy your travel, you don't have risk of dementia, your cognition level improves, your social and lifestyle improves. Then what happens? You are aware of others' culture, others' heritage. You are more, your tolerance level is higher than others. It also, somebody just gave one beautiful thought here. I would like to read it out. So I'll go to the chat box. Just a minute, my dear friends. Somebody gave a very good example. It also improves. Yes, I should be reading it. It also helps in communication. Very good, Tapasji. Very good. Okay. So ultimately, when you are a multilingual person, then you start developing a very, very intercultural communication and social skills. So you become a person in demand. You become a person who's socially in demand, culturally in demand. अरे उसको बुलाओ, उसको समझ में आता है. जैसे my husband, he knows how to speak how to speak Uriya. So I always tell him whenever we go for a trip to Bhubaneswar or Puri, I remember I tell him, you talk to the people out there in your language, and then we will be very easily we can get darshan of Jagannath ji. So what happens? कोई उस लैंग्वेज को जानता है ना, तो आप उसको खोजते हैं ना, उसको बोला, उसको पता है यहाँ कैसे बात करना है, isn't it? So you become a very wanted person in the society, wanted in the true sense, not in the wrong sense. Now, someone will not feel lonely. Very good, Pratima ji, very good. Now what happens? Multilingualism and teaching. अब ये दोनों कैसे relate होंगे आपके classroom? तो एज अ टीचर, सबसे पहले एज अ टीचर आपको ये नहीं सोचना अरे यार ये फिर एक नया कॉन्सेप्ट आ गया मल्टीलिंगुअलिज्म, अब इतने सारे लैंग्वेज जानो समझो. इट्स नॉट लाइक दैट. First of all, your attitude towards multilingualism has to be very, very positive. Your attitude has to be positive. You have to be kind and supportive towards children in your class who have come from a different language background. I remember in schools, children come from the south and they say, ma'am, we have not, my child has not studied Hindi. Maybe the child has taken admission in class 6 or 7. My child has not studied Hindi, ma'am. Usko ab hum kehte hain yaar kahan se ye headache aa gaya. तो अब आप ये सोचो, अगर वहां भी मल्टीलिंगुअलिज्म होता तो मेरे बच्चे को तो हिंदी आती, मेरा बच्चा हिंदी ज्यादा पढ़ पाता. तो होता क्या, आप अपने ही कंट्री में अपने ही देश के बच्चों को अपने ही लैंग्वेज से कट ऑफ कर देते हो. So please remember this, that multi-language lingualism has to be taken very positively, in a very kind, in a very supportive way by the teachers, number one. And then in your class, learners should speak a variety of first language. My first language is Bangla, somebody's Uriya, somebody's is Marathi, somebody's is Telugu, somebody's is Tamil, Malayalam. सारे languages बोले बच्चे, first language अपना बोले. They should be allowed to use that language in the classroom. Next, what are the benefits? Multilingual classrooms foster 21st century skills. Now, अगर हम 21st century skills की बात करें, तो friends, just have a look. I mean, this is not a session on 21st century skills. Still, I just wanted to remind you of 21st century skills. What are 21st century skills? Now, 21st century skills, for example, critical thinking, creativity, collaboration, communication, information, media, technology, flexibility, leadership, etc., etc. जो भी 21st century skills हैं, these are some of the 21st century skills that CBSE has prescribed for us, okay, for our curriculum. अब आप बताओ, एक बच्चा कैसे कम्युनिकेट करेगा if the child is not able to understand the instructions which are given by the teacher? Suppose as a teacher you are giving instructions only in English and the child is not understanding. Do you think the child will be able to communicate? Do you think the child will be able to collaborate? Do you think the child will be able to show his or her creativity? Do you think the child will be able to show critical thinking? सबसे पहले आपको ये अंडरस्टैंड करना होगा that until and unless I am speaking the language that my child understands in the classroom, no learning will take place in the classroom. No learning. Leave aside 21st century skills. Am I right? Have you understood this? So let's proceed further. So for developing 21st century skills, you have to adapt multilingualism in your class. Multilingual children are more empathetic. They understand. क्योंकि उनका cognition developed होता है ना, बहुत highly developed होता है, वो समझ सकते हैं बहुत कुछ. So empathetic होते हैं. Okay. Next is speaking more than one language is better for your brain. There's cognitive development. Multilingualism connects communities. जैसे मैंने आपको अभी बताया, my first language is Bangla. But still, because I know Hindi, I can connect myself with the Hindi-speaking people, their culture, their heritage, their history, their geography, their philosophy. I can connect with them. Being bilingual gives children better job prospects. This we all learn. Next. Now, what are the advantages of multilingualism? Multilingualism makes a curiosity of learning a language. अब आपके सामने एक बच्चा है जो हमेशा इंग्लिश ही में बात करता है, तो आपके बाएं भी इंग्लिश, दाएं भी इंग्लिश, आगे भी इंग्लिश, पीछे भी इंग्लिश, तो आप क्या नया लैंग्वेज सीखोगे? लेकिन अगर एक उड़िया बच्चा एक तमिल बच्चे के साथ बैठा आपके क्लास में, and the Tamil one is listening to Odia every day, the Odia one is listening to Tamil every day, what will happen? After 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 10, 1 month, they will learn each other's language. So there's a curiosity. You know, that learning instinct will always be alive in the child. Are you understand this? One language is endowed by other languages. Multilingualism builds internationally and nation solidarity. As we all know, it's a very old kahavat in our country, Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. The entire Vasudha and the entire world is our Kutum. We forgot that. Now we say English Kutumbakam, English Kutumbakam, English Kutumbakam. It's not like that. English has become so important only because of the fact that it has become the currency of the world now. Everybody, every country knows English. Every country wants English. Most of the people understand English. English is the currency of the world. But that is not required in your nursery, in your foundation years, in your secondary years. It's not required. You can develop that later on also, with the basic knowledge, of course, to be given in the foundation years, because English is another language for them. And language they will learn much easily, much better during the cognitive development. But why only one language? That's the question. Develop not only better verbal but also better spatial abilities. As I told you, the cognitive improves. Here, we are actually talking about multiple intelligences. I hope all of you are aware of multiple intelligences. So many sessions I have also taken on multiple intelligences. You may have attended multiple intelligence sessions. There are so many types of multiple intelligences. 8 have been streamlined. Out of that, one is visual and spatial intelligence. Visual spatial intelligence मैं आपको समझाती हूँ, one line में समझा रही हूँ. मान लीजिए ये मेरा लिविंग रूम है, मुझे एक अलमारी किसी दूसरे रूम से यहाँ लाना है, तो मैं क्या करूंगी? मैं कहूंगी अच्छा, दिस अलमारी हैज टू बी केप्ट हियर. तो मैं उस रूम से अलमारी लेकर आऊंगी, फिर जब यहाँ लाऊंगी तब मुझे रियलाइज होगा, अरे यार ये अलमारी तो यहाँ के लिए बहुत बड़ा हो गया, जगह ही कम है, अब वापस ले जाओ इसको. लेकिन आप में से कुछ लोग ऐसे होते हैं ना, घर में आप देखिएगा कोई एक ऐसा आदमी होता है जो कहता है नहीं नहीं नहीं, दैट अलमारी कैन नॉट कम हियर, द स्पेस इज वेरी लेस. विदाउट मेजरिंग ही विल बी एबल टू से, और शी विल बी एबल टू से. सम पीपल आर वेरी गुड इन डिजाइनिंग. अरे टीवी को इधर कर दो, सोफा को इधर कर दो, अलमारी को इधर कर दो, रूम बड़ा लगेगा, रूम छोटा लगेगा, रूम ऐसा लगेगा. Some people are very good at it. That is known as spatial intelligence. They are the people who become architects, they're the people who become interior designers, they're the people who become fashion designers. They know how to utilize spaces. So if you are multilinguistic, there are chances, that your spatial intelligence will be very well developed. So you may become a very good fashion designer, architect, interior designer, contractor, something like that. Next, I've already discussed this. What are the advantages of multilingualism? Personal and social benefits, you all know. You'll be a socially wanted person. Your personality will develop. You'll know many languages. Your social networking will develop. Your cognition will improve. Cognitive and academic benefits, your brain will work more. You'll have spatial intelligence. You will have more of job prospects. You will have more of academic knowledge. You will have so many benefits of that. And economic, because of course a person who knows more languages always has better career prospects. Okay, next, what are the aims and objectives of multilingualism model? What are the aims? एक multilingual मॉडल कहाँ आपको बनाना, आपकी क्लास में बनाना. कल जब आप अपने क्लास में जाएंगे तो आप उसको मल्टीलिंगुअलिज्म बनाएंगे, क्योंकि आज तो मिताली मैम ने सेशन लिया मल्टीलिंगुअलिज्म पे, तो कल से आपको मल्टीलिंगुअल क्लासरूम बनाना है. तो कैसे बनाएंगे आप, कैसे कल से क्लासरूम बनाएंगे मल्टीलिंगुअलिज्म का? नंबर 1, you should be aware of the learners linguistic approaches. You should be aware. अच्छा, मेरे क्लास में 10 लैंग्वेज बोलने वाले बच्चे हैं. कोई ये 5 बच्चे हिंदी, ये 2 बच्चा बंगला बोलता है, वो 4 बच्चा मराठी बोलता है, ये 2 बच्चा तेलुगु बोलता है, ये मलयाली बोलती है, इसकी संस्कृत है, उसको जर्मन आता है, इसको फ्रेंच आता है. आपने आइडेंटिफाई करना है सबसे पहले that how many languages are available in your classroom. Promote the children to speak in their first language, whatever their first language is. Promote that in your classroom. Create a classroom where languages spoken by learners are valued. क्या हम वैल्यू करते हैं? अभी हम लोग नहीं वैल्यू करते हैं. The moment the child speaks even a word in Hindi, we say no, you'll be fined, you'll be this, you'll be that. We don't promote. Choose lesson plans, materials and instructions that exploit multilingualism. You have to, ये सब इनफ नहीं है कि सारे बच्चे अपने अपने लैंग्वेज में बात करें. That is not enough. You as a teacher, you also should be multilinguistic. You have to choose the lesson plan, the materials, the instructions which exploit multilingualism. अगर मान लीजिए आपने एक टॉपिक पढ़ानी है and you have to show a very small video, maybe you will not show the video in English, maybe you'll show a video in Telugu, and then you will tell the child who speaks in Telugu, चलो आजा बेटा मेरा, चलो आजा बेटा ना, ये वीडियो में क्या देख रहे हैं आपने, explain everybody in English, in Hindi. So this is how you have to also use multilingualism as a part of your teaching learning. Okay. Next. लेकिन problem क्या है? You know, if you want to actually develop a multilinguistic classroom, there are some challenges also. As I told you before, there are some challenges as well. Now, वो challenges है क्या? The teacher has to be multilingual. ये सबसे बड़ा challenge है. अब बेचारा टीचर है, अब मुझे अगर क्लासरूम में भेज दिया जाए, मुझे तो सिर्फ बांग्ला आती है, हिंदी आती है, इंग्लिश आती है, तो मैं मल्टीलिंगुअल हूं, लेकिन आई एम नॉट मे बी सुटेबल फॉर माई क्लास, बिकॉज हो सकता है मेरे क्लास में किसी को तमिल, तेलुगु, जर्मन, संस्कृत, इंग्लिश सब आती है. आई एम नॉट फिट. हाउ डू आई डू दैट? सो फर्स्ट थिंग इज माई टीचर हैज टू बी मल्टीलिंगुअल. Number 2 is my teacher has to be a good communicator. I hope all of you understand the meaning of communication. I'll come to this. What is the meaning of communication? Why communication is so very important for a teacher? You know, I'll just come to this. Let me see if I have that slide with me. What is the importance of communication? Just see. Yes. Why the teacher should be a very good communicator? The teacher should be a very good communicator because it is the teacher who provides information through a medium. और medium क्या है? आपका language है. This medium can be English language, Hindi language, Marathi language, Telugu language, Tamil language, Sanskrit, German, French, whatever. That is the medium. Then what happens? The students receive this information. Then the students respond. Then the teacher gets the response of the children, and then the teacher gives feedback. So don't you think that communication plays the most important role in your class? And uspe bhi what is the medium of communication is so very important. And that medium has to be a multilingual medium. I hope I've made this very clear. Next, teacher must be a good mediator. Mediator मतलब क्या? आज के टीचर का रोल ये नहीं है कि वो सिर्फ क्लास में लेक्चर दे, किसी टॉपिक को समझाए, होमवर्क दे और चलाए. Today the teacher's role is much more than that. NEP has totally given a 360-degree turn to the teacher's roles. Now the teacher is a mediator also. Mediator का मतलब क्या हुआ? Now the teacher says, जैसे मैंने आपको example दिया, you have a small video in Tamil because you know there's a child in my class who knows Tamil. तो आप एक वीडियो तमिल में दिखाइए, and then you tell the child, come on, you come, the child who knows Tamil, you call the child and say, come on, you explain this in Hindi, you explain this in English, you explain this in this language. So it's a learning for this child also, it is a learning for the students also, it is a learning for the teachers also. So you are mediating the use of different languages in your class. So you are the mediator of multilingualism. Okay. Now, what are the characteristics of the multilingual class? There's diversity of languages. There's opportunity for everybody to increase their knowledge. I don't know Tamil. I can learn from my student. I can learn from my friend. I can learn from my peer. It creates a feeling of global citizenship. As I just told you, Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. Learning process is complex and time consuming. Growth of knowledge and liberal attitudes of students. The children's knowledge, it grows. They become more liberal. They become more thoughtful about the culture of others. Okay. Next. So I think this is the nutshell what we have done till now. You must have understood that multilingualism promotes personal growth, communication, job mobility. It helps you study abroad. It increases your vocabulary and speech and tolerance and respect towards other cultures. So अगर आप सिर्फ अपने बच्चे को इंग्लिश प्रमोट करा रहे हैं तो उसी कंट्री में जाएगा चाहे इंग्लिश बोला जाए. लेकिन अगर आप अपने बच्चे में मल्टीलिंगुअलिज्म प्रमोट करते हैं तो उस देश में जाएगा, उस प्रदेश में जाएगा जहां वो भाषा बोली जाती है. और वैसा बच्चा जिसको बहुत सारे लैंग्वेजेस आते हैं, उसकी डिमांड हमेशा एक सिंगल लैंग्वेज जानने वाले बच्चे से ज्यादा होती है. Okay, so that must be promoted. So at the school level, my dear friends, we have to, as a teacher, you have to promote children who come from the minority regional languages. अब आपके क्लास में 40 बच्चे हैं. Out of that, suppose 30 are Hindi speaking students. So बाकी 10 कौन है? Somebody, maybe 2 Bangla, maybe 1 Uriya, maybe 2 Telugu, maybe 1 Malayali, maybe 1 German, maybe 1 is something else, Haryanvi. Okay. So now you have to promote these 10 students also in your classroom. Regional language, and this is especially for the urban schools. Urban schools में क्यों कह रही हूँ? Because in the rural schools what happens is एक particular area के ही बच्चे स्कूल में जाते हैं. So you know multilingualism का scope वैसे ही थोड़ा कम. Because what happens in the villages, what happens in the rural areas, the students are from the same kind of locality. But in the urban schools, what happens? Children are coming from diverse communities. So the scope of multilingualism is much more there. So urban school teachers have to be very, very careful about this. You have to work on their pronunciation, on their stress. You have to understand how they speak. You have to understand the vocabulary. You have to help them pronounce the words correctly. And all this can only happen when my teacher is also multilingual. I don't say that you should know all the languages. That's not possible at all. But at least you should be a multilingual teacher who is ready to learn also. So this is very, very important. Now, as we all know, that we are discussing so much about multilingualism because of our NEP, and I must thank people who have written this, who have documented this, that we are actually taking a U-turn. We were already a multilingual society. We are a multilingual society, and we were a multilingual school system. But somehow, we drifted towards one language school system. We are again expected to take a U-turn and come back to multilingualism in the schools. I've already explained you the importance of communication in your class, but now I come to the point I would like to also tell you the challenges for a teacher who has to promote multilingualism in the classroom. What are the challenges that the teacher poses? Are challenges that are posed for the teacher who is expected to develop a multilingual classroom. So you, as you know now, what are you doing? You're attending a workshop, because CBSE has told you to attend 25 in-house trainings. अभी in-house training के topics decide होती हैं जो teachers के लिए जरूरी है. जैसे NEP कहता है multilingualism, तो आज हमने multilingualism पे training करा दिया. ठीक है, हमने ये इस पे क्यों नहीं training कराया? चिकन बिरयानी बनाने पे क्यों नहीं training कराया? इसलिए नहीं कराया क्योंकि चिकन बिरयानी बनाने की जरूरत टीचर को नहीं है. क्लासरूम में आपको चिकन बिरयानी बनाना नहीं बताया जाता है, लेकिन क्लासरूम में आपको मल्टीलिंगुअलिज्म यूज करना है, इसलिए हम आज मल्टीलिंगुअलिज्म पे ट्रेनिंग ले रहे हैं. सिमिलरली, now my teachers should be trained for languages also. आपको 2-3 लैंग्वेज आती है, लेकिन आपकी क्लास के बच्चों को 10 लैंग्वेज आती है, तो वो 10 लैंग्वेज टीचर को भी तो आनी चाहिए, थोड़ी बहुत सही, लेकिन कुछ तो नॉलेज होना चाहिए, so that the teacher can promote those languages. Otherwise, आप एक बात बताइए, now I'm talking to you in English, I'm talking to you in Hindi. If I start talking to you in German, आप यही कहेंगे ना, आप किसी ना किसी तरीके से मुझे वापस लाना चाहेंगे इंग्लिश और हिंदी में. तो अगर टीचर को लैंग्वेज नहीं पता होगा, the teacher will never promote that language in the class. The teacher will always want कि बच्चा उसी लैंग्वेज पे आ जाए जिसको मुझे पता है. Are you understanding what I'm trying to say? So it is very important to give pre-service and in-service program for teachers in which they can learn those languages. Very, very important. First challenge for the teachers. It is a very big challenge. CBSE has to take some steps for this, and that this has to be dealt very, very beautifully. Next, researchers in the area of language learning. Language learning has to be supported, because I have already told you, my dear friend, that it's very easy for us to learn a language when you're 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5, 6, 7. Very easy to learn a language. हमारा cognitive development बहुत fast होता है उस समय. But when we are a teacher at age of 28, 30, 40, 50, 50 plus also, it's very difficult for us to learn a language. So there's a lot of research which needs to be done, that how the teachers can learn a new language very easily, so that once they learn, then only they can promote. अभी अगर टीचर को हम जूम चलाना ही नहीं सिखाए, वेबएक्स चलाना ही नहीं सिखा, तो ट्रेनिंग करेंगे कैसे? सिमिलरली, अगर मेरा टीचर मल्टीलिंग्विस्टिक नहीं होगा, तो वो क्लासरूम में जाकर मल्टीलिंग्विस्टिक प्रमोट कैसे करेगा? So this is a very big challenge in front of us. Next is, in our country there are many languages which are oral, but ड्राफ्ट ही नहीं हुए, वो ऑफिशियली लिखे ही नहीं गए. So that work also needs to be done. It has to be documented and written. And the next one is, that suppose you are a physics teacher and you are teaching from HC Verma, which is in English. अब आप एक तेलुगु जानने वाले बच्चे को तो इंग्लिश वाला जब एससी वर्मा दीजिएगा तो अगेन बात वहीं आ जाती है कि दैट चाइल्ड शुड नो इंग्लिश. So how will the child learn? Read H.C. Verma in Telugu. For that, you need to publish the books in the regional languages. That is also very, very important. So these are some steps that the government has to take. These are some initiatives that the government should take, that CBSE has to take, that we have to take also, and make these languages very much easy for us, very much available for our students. आपके पास स्टूडेंट के पास बुक्स ही नहीं होंगे, स्टूडेंट्स के पास लिटरेचर नहीं होगा, स्टूडेंट के पास डॉक्यूमेंटेड चीजें नहीं होंगी, डॉक्यूमेंट्रीज नहीं होंगी, लैंग्वेजेस में एक्टिविटीज नहीं होंगी, बुक्स नहीं होंगी, जर्नल्स नहीं होंगी, तो आप कैसे मल्टीलिंग्विस्टिक होंगे? So these are the challenges which are still to be answered. So with this, my dear friends, we come to the end of the session, and I would like to conclude here by saying that, just a minute, give me a minute. I need to put my photograph somewhere else. My video is right on the content. What happened to my mouse? Just, I got it. So what I need to say here is that, my dear friends, you have to understand this, that language is the most important medium of communication. Its development occupies an important place in the national policy of education and program of action. So language is of prime importance. So we should all as teachers understand कि हमारे स्कूल में क्या language, हमारे क्लास में क्या language हम use कर रहे हैं. The one and only way to introduce multilingualism through a formal system of education is to make provisions for the study of many languages in school. अभी हमारे स्कूल में मैक्सिमम 3 लैंग्वेजेस होती हैं, ऐसा नहीं काम चलेगा. We cannot make multilingual children like this. Many languages should be open to them. सीखो, जो सीखना हो सीखो, not only for exams. So we know the positive relationship between multilingualism, cognitive growth, educational achievement, and this is very need to promote multilingualism in school. So I hope all of you have understood that what is the relationship between multilingualism and cognitive development. So जितनी ज़्यादा languages हम बच्चे को exposure देंगे, the child's cognitive development will be more and more and more. And if the cognitive development of the child is more, what will happen? The child will be a better learner. After learning will be improved. Next is, of course, you should understand that curriculum achievement is increased through such education. As I told you, cognitive development jitna hoga, bachche ka achievement utna zyada increase karega. And of course, it will open many doors, many job opportunities for the child as well. So I think this beautiful picture you can see on the same blackboard, there are 2 children in the same school, because I can see the same uniform. They're students of the same class, same school, same board they are using, but they're writing to different languages. This is the beauty of our country, which we have forgotten, and we are trying to become slaves of a foreign language. So please save your country. Please save your students from this and promote multilingualism in your classroom. That's all from my side today. A big thank you to each one of you. Over to you for your questions. If you have any questions, please. Any questions? Any questions, friends? Hope to see you soon in another session. Thank you, Rajiv sir. Thank you, Patliputra Sahodaya, for this opportunity given to me. Actually, just before your session, I had one more session with COE Patna on the same topic today. So it was really, whatever things I could not tell in that, I told in this. And now when I'm sitting, I'm just realizing that there's so many things I told them I did not tell you. And every time you take a session, it's something new, it's something different. And it was fortunately the same topic today. So I think, thank you, Patliputra Sahodaya, thank you, COE Patna. You made this topic so simple for me now as a resource person also. Any questions? Try to implant multilingualism in your classrooms as soon and as effectively as possible. That's what I would like to say from my side. Thank you, sir. May I leave now? Thank you. May I leave now, sir? Thank you so much. Thank you.